you might get put on television while you're lining up the sides, ringing the cowbells, making the noise as we watch the best riders in the world battle for the national championship and the women's elite, and after that, the men's elite.
This will be our second call into staging. Second call to staging for your women's elite. Second call to staging.
Smile, you're on camera. Live feed, RVTV. You see that camera riding around, walking around, checking out parts of the course. That's what we're streaming live. We got 6 cameras from different parts of the course, 2 of them mobile here for the next 2 races. We're excited to put on the biggest race in the country, Women's Elite. The call-up's about to get started here in 3 minutes.
And here we have the final call to staging. This is the moment. This is the final call for our riders to get down to staging and to be ready for the race to begin. Final call. Which serves as a final call to Roanoke to get down to the course, to get your spot and to be ready for a national championship race here with our elite women. All right, Roanoke, it is time. Please join me in acknowledging and welcoming your elite women to the starting line here tonight for the 2026 Short Track National Championships. Our first call up goes to none other than your reigning national champion, hot off a World Cup win, hot off a World Cup podium. She's out of Kashmir, Washington, racing for Decathlon Ford. Let's make some noise for Sevilla Blanc. Our next rider, no stranger to competition at the world level. Out of Waterloo, Colorado, she is a champion, racing for Trek Unbroken. Let's welcome Gwendolyn Gibson. Next up to the line out of Kentfield, California, racing for KMC Nuke Proof. It's Kelsey Urban. Next up out of Colorado Springs will be your youngest rider in the bunch, a U23 choosing to race amongst the elites. Let's welcome Bailey Siopa. Out of Vail, Colorado, our next rider races with the Bear Pro team. Let's make some noise for Bailey McSpadden.
Coming all the way from Williamsburg, Michigan for Cosmic Racing, welcome Emma Schwab. Out of Highland, Utah, from Perrin, Arkansas for Heart Excel Pro Cycling, it's none other than Isabella Robles. From Highland, Utah for Heart Excel Pro Cycling, her teammate, Sydney Nielsen. Roanoke, I better hear ya. From Roanoke, Virginia, racing for Ken's Bike Shop, it's none other than the local Emily Shields. Also from Roanoke, Virginia, for Ride Fierce Racing, presented by Virginia. Visit Blue Ridge. It is Abigail Snyder. And from Bentonville, Arkansas, for Flow Formulas, Kenda, the Black Bibs, it's the legend, Crystal Anthony.
Riders, welcome to Elite Women's Short Track Championship race. You have about 2 minutes until your start. You'll be given 1 minute, 30-second, 15-second warnings. Your race will start with whistle. Race is 20 minutes. Lap board is on the left. It will be posted after first lap. Riders out of contention will be pulled at 80% location before the finish line. Your podium is at 7 o'clock. Good luck. 1 minute until the start. 1 minute. Please clear the grid.
All right, Roanoke, you heard him. 1 minute to the start. Let's warm it up here and make some noise here for our elite women. Let's make a little noise for our elite women. There we go. Folks at home, let's make some noise if you're tuning in on YouTube.
30 seconds. 15. Race will start with whistle.
Elmwood Park, make some noise. This is the fastest riders on earth. They're coming through. 20-minute short track national championship race. All stakes. The Stars and Stripes jersey on the line. Made it through turn one safe. And now they're going into the exciting course here at Elmwood Park. We're going to bring you the action. What a race it's going to be, Hoop.
What a crisp start. Bailey Siopa for Colorado Springs. She's wearing the all-black skin suit, leading the charge, taking essentially the whole shot here of the first turn. After the start, you see her there ripping through the grass and into the park proper. The rest of the field with her. The first bit of challenge is going to be this continual gradual climb as they dip through the building there. And on the other side, continuing to rise up and up and up toward the rock garden. Let's continue to make some noise in this opening lap. Come on now, Roanoke.
As the racers are leading towards, you'll see the man-made double hump that was designed to slow the riders up for the rock garden, which is actually making it a little bit hard as the pro women elite are coming through. No problems whatsoever as they're all navigating through. But we got three wide. Oh, we got a little bobble at the end. Emily Shields is able to make it through, the Roanoke native.
Yeah, bumping bars and elbows there on the rock garden first lap in, trying to fight for the line. They like the right line. Little insight, the left line might not be as slow as people think. We saw earlier in racing, Skolnick with the championship. It was the move on the left line of the rock garden to seal the win, and he made a pass from P2 up to P1. We'll see if anybody in this women's elite field is on the left side today to improve their position.
As the leaders are working their way, you have seen all day long this turn onto this concrete as they're making their way towards the finish stretch here has been a game changer late into the race. If you do not put all chips on the table and take that curve at maximum speed with a maximum sprint out of that turn, you have absolutely no chance later in the race. So these women right now are figuring out where their limit is as they're coming through at maximum speed to know how much faster could they possibly go as they're coming through here. But it does appear to be a little bit of a checkup as the ladies are coming through. One of the slower laps that I have seen all day, actually, but there's a lot of strategy on the line.
The Bailey Siopa leading this lap. She likes that spot on the front from the start through the entire first lap. It was all Bailey Siopa. Still there in the black jersey, the white helmet on the road. There's another turn to get into the park and onto the grass. Looks like a pass on the outside here. We shuffle up. Siopa's dropped down to fourth, fifth position. Riders taking that momentum and into the dirt.
Looks like the reigning national champion was working her way up a little bit closer to that lead racer sitting in third place. That's Sevilla Blanc from Decathlon Ford. She is a short track specialist and won here last year. She is now in third place.
She won here on an interesting and one of the most exciting moves of the year last year. Bombing the descent. She made a pass with threading the needle, and she had zero margin for error when she made that move. It was all or nothing, but she did it on such a crucial part of the course. It's all about the rock garden and getting your position because it's so hard to pass after the rock garden. And last year, Blanc was in P2 after this rock garden. She threaded the needle on the descent and sealed the victory. Here she is sitting third position, biding some time before the final moments.
I was actually up on the hill when she made that pass. I filmed it, actually put it on YouTube, but I was right there at the tape when she made that miraculous pass, and I was mind blown by what she did. And I truly believe she caught the other rider off guard, and she never looked back as she's coming through right now, still sitting in third place.
And oddly enough, that is the one course feature that's changed from last year to this year. Everything else is virtually the same. They did position the wooden man-made features in different spots. This ride wall that you're about to see them hit is in a different spot than it was last year. You see riders saying low on the ride wall, not too high, but everything else about the course is identical except for the one spot that Sevilla used to thread the needle and pass for the victory in 25. They're seeing 7 on the lap counter here. 7 laps to go. We're 4.5 minutes in.
Well, the bib number 2, that's Crystal Anthony from Bentonville, Arkansas. She has gone into lap number 2, and she is in the lead here. Crystal Anthony and she has been racing bikes for a very long time. No rookie here with Crystal Anthony. We'll see what she's got to throw at these young girls here in just the next little bit.
We've got a bit of the same situation as last lap going into the whole shot here for the lap. Bailey Siopa was on the front for a spell, but Anthony drilling the pace, and you had Sevilla Blanc following that wheel as they hit the dirt to come into the park. So Crystal Anthony not holding back, not using any excuse here with her racing. She is out here just like the rest to say, I want a shot at this title. Bailey Siopa claims her position back on the front. Sevilla Blanc sitting in position number 2. Crystal Anthony down to 3rd. Looked like Gwendolyn Gibson, a Trek Unbroken, sitting in 4th right now before they hit the rock garden.
So their first lap, the leader, now Crystal Anthony ran a 2:22. I would consider that fairly slow for the day. You could kind of tell it was an easy pace. Now they have improved by 11 seconds. That last lap on lap 2, 2:11. But trust me when I tell you they have so much more in the tank. We know the capabilities of these riders, and some of those very easily could break the 2-minute threshold as it gets later in the race when one of the main favored riders decides to place an attack and hammer down.
It's really the field all together here, several laps into the race, coming into 6.5 minutes on the clock. So just one more lap will be halfway. Bailey Siopa on the front.
Working their way right here to the finishing stretch here any second now. We're going to be seeing if there's any attack. We're starting to get, about a quarter of the way, get close to a third of the way into the race. So now you can tell the nerves are starting to be, it's a little bit bigger group than probably some of the riders would like. I see Crystal Anthony starting to get a little anxious on the outside, but they're still trying to ride a fairly easy pace, a lot more than I was expecting them going into turn 1 with 6 laps as they just came back. 6 laps to go for all riders.
Vic Spadden here as they made their way through the finish line, had a little touch of tires, a little bump, and kind of jolted her in her position. She recovered easily. It wasn't anything catastrophic, but very close quarters for our riders as they're making their way up the turn and embarking upon this first left. Still paving until they get to the park and they're in onto the grass, but that is how close they're riding in the top 5. Wheels bumping, tires, elbows, shoulders bumping here.
So far, it's actually been a very tight group. We've seen a lot of single file racing, but this is the first time all day long where we have seen 6, 7 riders almost riding 2 or 3 by through most of this course, and only few places have there actually been any single file. As we're seeing them go up the hill towards the rock garden, you'll see them go over these 2 man-made humps that are slowing them down. Seems to be that the energy is picked up a little bit, and it's starting to string it out as they're going into the rock garden. But every time they clean the rock garden, that's when you start to see the bunch start to build up. I'm waiting for one of them to make an attack after they make the rock garden, as they just cleaned through there. All riders through the rock garden, and the local Emily Shields still there from Roanoke, Virginia. She's sitting right there with the lead group. So Roanoke, make some noise. One of your own is still in the lead group.
Yeah, Emily Shields for Ken's Bike Shop out of Roanoke, Virginia in the pink jersey. Let's make some noise for her. Five now, making the bend this left turn as Shields is trying to get onto terms and even with them. Those 5 riders separating themselves after the rock garden, navigating that flowy descent seamlessly. It's still Bailey Siopa on the front. She's doing a lot of work here and a lot of work exposed, leading the tempo and leading the charge for our peloton, our group of riders, the 5 of them together here.
All right, the women's elite coming through. That's bib 952. You're talking about her earlier. She could actually race in the U23 race, but no, she has put herself up here with the women's elite, the best riders the world has to offer right here on course right now, and that's Bailey Siopa. So sorry, I mispronounced it. Siopa, sorry. From Colorado Springs, Colorado. She has led into this lap now, and they just came through with 5 laps remaining on the digital lap counter.
Want to give some props here to Sydney Nielsen of Hart Excel Pro Cycling out of Highland, Utah. The group was to 5, and on this little bit of a rise for the finish line, she was drilling the pace to get back up and make it a group of 8 riders here. So back in contention, essentially onto the lead.
I can only imagine what the vibe is on that hill when they're seeing the Pins Bike Shop. That's the pink kit right now, sitting in about 6th place, and that's one of Roanoke's own. Emily Shields, a longtime pro women's cyclist from Winston-Salem originally, now has moved up here to Roanoke, Virginia, and she is riding hard.
All right, now Roanoke, pay attention here. It's your defending national champ. She gets to the front. She's got the #1 plate on her bicycle. Sevilla Blanc, first time through the rock garden in the lead that I have seen in this race. She loves this flowy descent. It's how she won last year. And here she is leading the charge. She's got several bike lengths and she's prying this thing open. Let's make some noise for the move for Sevilla Blanc.
Oops, Sevilla just coming from World Cup victory. She is one of the fittest women on planet Earth. And she said, enough of the slower speeds. It's time for me to shine. I'm gone. You either follow me and party along, or I'm going to the finish line by myself. Blanc on a mission.
She's definitely going to clock a fast lap here. It'll be the fastest lap of the day on the move. Sevilla Blanc, look at the gap now that she's establishing. She makes the right bend. She's going to look up and see 4 laps to go. This is Sevilla Blanc, your defending national champ, on the move for the title. Crystal Anthony, she's out of the saddle trying to claw this thing back, very well aware of what can happen. If a move isn't made now to bring Blanc back, Blanc will never be seen again by the group. So Crystal Anthony out of the saddle trying to go, but Gwendolyn Gibson actually around her to ramp up the pace even further. The chase is on to bring Blanc back.
Absolutely chasing on, but I saw Gwendolyn Gibson look over at Crystal Anthony, the seasoned rider, and say something, probably something along, look, it's now or never. We either have to work together to bring her back or she is gone forever. So those two, don't be surprised if they don't start taking some turns and trying to bring back the national champion from last year.
Well, she's separated herself from Crystal Anthony. Gwendolyn Gibson is a little bit closer to Blanc as Blanc is making the right turn before the rock garden. There's Gwendolyn Gibson. So she's closed some of the gap down. Not everything, but it's getting closer for Gwendolyn to be right back on the terms with Sevilla through the rock garden. Look at her float over those rocks and navigate it cleanly. There's Gibson doing the same exact thing.
Gibson is hauling freight trying to catch back up to Blanc. She knows it was now or never. She was probably caught off guard a little bit by that sweet spot for Blanc coming down this descent where she's at right now. She knows how to let it go all the way to the bottom. She never hits the brakes, and she goes through this turn at maximum speed, but it's now or never for Gibson, and Gibson from Trek Unbroken is giving it all. It's all on the line now. We either bring her back or she's gone for good.
Using every bit of that turn from the apex out to the barriers and then squeezing it back in, out of the saddle, sprinting as soon as the bike rights itself there on the line.
Roanoke, Virginia, you got to come out here. Get on the course. Make some noise. Last year's national champion, one of the fastest riders in the entire world, is coming through the finish line. She has 3 laps to go.
When she decided to go, that was the move for Sevilla Blanc. She said, now is my time. Laying it all out there on the line. Gwendolyn Gibson is chasing, and now it's just power against power against power. Our top 3 steps to the podium, all rising out of the saddle on this little rise of a climb, throwing the power into the pedals and breaking away and staying away from the rest of the ladies in this group.
That attack has blown apart the field. Here is the local Emily Shields from Roanoke, Virginia. This is a ride of the lifetime right here for Emily. Great job, Emily. Blanc is off. Gibson is chasing, probably one of the fastest laps of the day. Could be Gibson in her attempt to bring back Blanc, but is it too little too late? We're down to 3 laps, actually 2.5 left now. Blanc was going so fast up the hill hoop that before the rock garden area, she actually slid her back wheel out. She was going up so fast. She's now navigating through the rock garden cleanly, and she is working her way back down here towards the finish stretch.
She's got the rear wheel popping up a little bit on the rock garden. That is how fast she's taking it, not holding back at all, trying to grow this gap that she's established in an attack with several laps ago. Siopa was on the front. Blanc found the time and said, this is my moment, attacking through the rock garden, leading, and it's been Sevilla Blanc ever since. Look at the gap now that she has established, prying this thing wide open as she takes this bend of a left turn.
To all the young riders, the junior girls out here on course, if you want to know how to race a bike, you better watch this lady right now, Sevilla Blanc, one of the fastest riders in the world, and she is riding this course to perfection. She is floating over top of the dirt, and where she's sliding out, her tires are catching, but she's never hitting the brakes. She is hammered down. She feels it. She senses it. She has 2 laps to go. Roanoke, Virginia, makes some noise. This is one of the fastest riders in the world.
Big sprint from Gwendolyn Gibson here on the finish stretch. She also has 2 laps to go. Her work is cut out for her with Blanc ahead.
Oh, man. Blanc comes by with a 155. The first couple laps, she was sitting there chilling. 221, 213, 220. She said, "Now it's time to go." She does a 156. Oh, you thought the battery run out? Absolutely not. Blanc says, "Give me some more." She pulls a 155. But one of the stories of the day, Hoop, the last call up, Crystal Anthony, the legend, sitting in 3rd place.
What a ride for Crystal Anthony here, 3rd overall right now in your women's elite field. A great display of the experience, the power, the strength that she has charging through this women's short track race. There goes your leader through the rock garden.
You can hear Roanoke supporting their own. You don't know a lot of these riders because you're here watching, but the girl in pink, that's not a girl, that's a woman. That's Emily Shields from Roanoke, Virginia, and she's sitting right there. So when you see her, get every ounce of energy. She might make her way up here and get a few more positions. One of the best rides I've ever seen Shields do. So lap 7, the reigning national champion trying to get it one more time. Sevilla Blanc does a 155. The closest person to her was Gwendolyn Gibson with a 202. So the heat is on when you're one of the fastest riders on planet Earth. It's just hard to match that energy. And here she comes right now. You hear the bell, ladies and gentlemen. One of the fastest riders on planet Earth has got 1 lap to go. Can she bring it home for year number 2?
So the bell and the gap, 1 lap remain here. Let's make some noise now for Gwendolyn Gibson, chasing down Blanc with 1 lap to go.
Gwendolyn Gibson is absolutely no stranger for fighting till the very end. She knows she cannot relent at all. If she does, Anthony's coming, but there are still hopes for her, for the Stars and Stripes. She's going to push to the very minute, but it is so hard to counteract that attack from Sevilla Blanc. When you are in the 150s lap after lap after lap, that's just an absolutely impressive time. Blanc is making her way up here. You'll see a right-hand turn. She'll hit the 2 man-made hups into the rock garden. And once she clears that rock garden, it's home, sweet home.
So continue to make some noise. This is a national championship ride. She's going on the way to win 2 times here in Roanoke. This is our 2nd year here. She has been treated so well by Roanoke so far. As the local goes by the finish line, Sevilla Blanc powering and motoring away now.
Oh, Emily Shields riding the time of her life. She had a couple right in sight. Is it too little, too late? Time will tell. Shields is battling hard. But ladies and gentlemen, here is the leader, Sevilla Blanc, making the turn on the concrete. And she just made a little bunny hop. Hoop. She's having a good time. She's about to do the wall turn, and then she's going to bring it home. This has been a pristine attack, and it is stuck to the finish line.
Certainly the strongest rider in Roanoke tonight here for your elite women. She's hit the bricks. Let's make some noise. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 national champion.
Wow, that is what it is all about. You hear women's elite, use the word elite. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is elite. One of the best riders in the world, showing why she is exactly that. Now, let's see. 2nd and 3rd, it does appear to be Gwendolyn Gibson. Put your hands together. Make some noise for one of the fastest riders on planet Earth, wearing the number bib for Trek Unbroken. That is Gwendolyn Gibson, all the way from Waterloo, Colorado. And let's see if the legend, Crystal Anthony, is able to bring home the bronze medal and final step on the podium. I'm not even going to begin to tell you how many years Crystal Anthony has been racing bicycles, but let me tell you right now, it's a very, very, very long time. And to be where she's at in her career, sporting one of the local sponsors of the Black Bibs, Kenda, and Flow formulas, put your hands together for the legend. This is your bronze medalist, Crystal Anthony. What a ride, lady. What a ride. Sprinting down to the line, but it does appear to be number 8. I think that's going to be Isabella Robles. We'll get a confirmation here in just a second. There was a brake cable in my way.
So we'll do our final call here to staging for your men's elite race. Final call to staging men elite.
All right, what a race that was. 10th place, Abigail Snyder. Isabella Robles, 9th. Emma Schwab, 8th. Sydney Nielsen, 7th place. The local from Roanoke, Emily Shields, getting 6th place. Bailey Siopa in 5th place. Bailey McSpadden in 4th place. The legend, Crystal Anthony, taking 3rd. Gwendolyn Gibson in 2nd. But for the 2nd year in a row, from Kashmir, Washington, for Decathlon Ford, your champion, reigning, defending, it is Sevilla Blanc.
Last call to staging for your elite men. This is your last call to staging, elite men. Well, Roanoke, we are here for the final short track race of your 2026 National Championships. We do have more racing going on this week, but this is the last race here at the park. Happy to be here, happy to be celebrating bikes in Roanoke, Virginia, and excited to see our elite men take the line. Our first call up to the line is a rider from Boulder, Colorado. He's hot off a World Cup win. He is a 5-time national champion, one of those coming last year as the short track national champion in 2025, defending his title. He's hoping to make it 6. Let's welcome the Scott SRAM mountain bike racing team rider, Bjorn Riley. Next up from Waterloo, Colorado for Trek Unbroken, it's Riley Amos. Out of Durango, Colorado for Specialized Factory Racing, the former world champion short track, let's welcome Christopher Blevins. Out of Durango, Colorado for Team Segment 28, presented by Baird, Ivan Sippy. From Middlesex, Vermont for Team Segment 28, presented by Baird, Austin Beard. Out of Windsor, New York, for Dirt Camp Racing, Devin Feehan. From La Canada, California, for Bear Pro Team, Dane Gray. Out of Evergreen, Colorado, for Bear Pro Team, Robbie Day. From Brevard, North Carolina, with Dirt Camp Racing, Carson Beckett. From Durango, Colorado, Carson Beard. From Bozeman, Montana, with Dirt Camp Racing, Carter Hall.
Coming from Birmingham, Alabama, for Dirt Camp Racing and Specialized Bicycles, it is Jerry Dufour. All the way from Golden, Colorado, for We Development, welcome Toby Hassett. From Littleton, Colorado, for Allied Cycle Works, oh my goodness, it's Braden Johnson. From St. George, Utah, for Hart Excel Cycling, it's Samuel Elson. From Breckenridge, Colorado, for Rollier Devo, presented by DNA Cycling, it's Lass Konecki. From Charlotte, Vermont, for Frost Beer Works, please put your hands together for Caden Frost. From Los Gatos, California, for Everyday Heroes Real Estate Racing, it is Justin Peck. From Chapel Hill, North Carolina, for Hart Excel Racing, put your hands together for Paul Rovenwelder. From Boulder, Colorado, for Dirt Camp Racing, it's Eli Crane Fuss. From Ocala, Florida, for Dirt Camp Racing and Santos Bike Shop, it's Jacob Fernandez. And last but not least, from the Commonwealth of Virginia, out of the capital of Richmond, Virginia, from Hout Factory Racing, put your hands together for Cole Oberman.
Roanoke, let's make some noise for your elite men's short track field.
Riders, welcome to your championship race. You have 2 minutes until your start. You'll be given 1 minute, 30-second, 15-second warnings. Your race will start with whistle. Your race is 20 minutes. Laps will be posted on the board after your first lap. Riders out of contention will be pulled at 80% location before the finish line. Your podium is at 7:30. Good luck.
As we wait for the official to do the 2-minute warning, just a reminder that just 6 days ago, 2 of these riders were on the World Cup short track podium. One was victorious and one was third. 3 of the riders in this field were the top 10 on the cross-country event, the fastest riders in the world. On course here in just a minute.
1 minute until the start. Please clear the grid. Thirty seconds. Wow. 15. Race will start with whistle.
Elmwood Park, Star City, Roanoke, Virginia, make some noise. This is the fastest riders on planet Earth. They're coming into turn 1. Let's hope they make it safe. And it's time for racing. The short track men's national champion on course. It's a 20-minute race. Get ready. Action-packed till the end. Throughout the 2 days of racing, our fastest lap on record was a 1:45. The fastest lap was a 1:45. Let's see what happens to that here in this race right here when the former world champion, the current national champion, and one of the other faster riders on planet Earth in the United States are on course, pushing the pace to the highest level. It's time, Roanoke. Get on the hill, make some noise, line it up. It's action time here, live streaming RVTV, youtube.com.
Dirt Camp Racing leading the charge here after the start. In the white, little bit of a gap, maybe 2 bike lengths there, making this flowy descent and then whipping the bike, leaning it left and taking it wide. But they're going to take it wider and wider and wider with faster speed all throughout the race here. 20 minutes, but it'll go by quick.
By the looks of the rider, it does appear to be Devin Feehan from up in New York for Dirt Camp Racing. I believe that is him leading the charge right now. Several riders in tow. Single file coming through the start-finish line. We'll get a time update here in just a second.
Riders finding their momentum, little slingshot on the outside there, making a pass on the outside of the turn. Then they jockey for position, driving into the park here, 2 wide as they make that left.
It was, in fact, from Dirt Camp Racing, Devin Feehan leading the charge with a 1:55 lap 1. Ivan Sippy from Team Segment in second place. Bjorn Riley, last year's national champion, sitting in third. Riley Amos sitting in fourth. And Carson Beard in fifth. The world champion, former world champion, Chris Blevins in sixth place. Acting packed as they're working their way up the hill to the 2 man-made bumps. That's going to slow them up a little bit as some of the riders going so fast uphill, the back tires sliding out, but they're approaching the Rock Garden. Look at all the fans hoop. It's hundreds and hundreds of people lined up at the Rock Garden.
Carson Beard on the front, riding very clean through the Rock Garden. Keeping the pace high enough to be single file as they make this S-turn bend and swoop down the hillside. That's Carson Beard. Going to look over the shoulder there to see who's behind. It's the biggest gap we've seen in the early part of this race. Only 2 laps have been completed, almost 2 laps completed, but the sizable gap here for Carson Beard.
Beard is on a mission, but he has Blevins locked and loaded. The target's on his back, and he is trying everything in his might to get away. He knows who he's against. He knows they have extreme talent and power, and you don't want to be in a sprint finish with the fastest riders in the world. So Beer is putting his dice on the table and saying, hey, I'm going to take my chance now. He's starting to sit up a little bit because he sees them starting to come back. But we're single file going through the start-finish line.
Well, he's got some serious talent behind him, and Christopher Blevins chasing him back, and Blevins has made the connection here. So, yes, I might sit up myself and say, I don't need to be doing too much now. 9 laps to go. I've got Blevins right on my wheel. Maybe I don't waste this energy and save it for when it counts.
Maybe he found a spot on course that he was very comfortable with, and he was looking to see how he could do it later in the race. We've seen tactics throughout that the past 2 days where some of the riders are finding their honey hole on course. So later in the race, if they're in contention, they can put that attack. Maybe that was the filler out there for Carson Beard.
Your defending national champ sitting 4th wheel. He's in the neon jersey there. We've seen time and time again riders floating back 2nd, 3rd, 4th wheel to save some energy, just ride the race through and not apply the pressure on the front. It's worked out several times before. Bjorn, he drifts back to 5th through the Rock Garden.
Yet again, that left line of the Rock Garden paying dividends for Dirt Camp Racing's Devin Feehan. He found himself a little bit further back. He took a different line, took the left line on the rock, and was able to make a pass on one rider, putting him in about 5th place, I believe. So that was a tactically smart move for Feehan.
If you're willing to do it on the left side, it might look harder. It might seem more challenging, but it's been faster when riders have chosen that outside line when it matters the most. It's been the faster line.
We got another rider giving his chance right now, putting the cards on the table and putting in a dig, and he's putting in a big dig right now. He looked over his shoulder and saw that he had a gap, And he did another look. He's making sure he's putting everything in as he's coming through. Let's see if he stands up and puts a sprint and hoop. He does. Right when I say it, he's putting in one of the Trek riders coming through pretty hard. Now the other riders are looking to see who's going to do the work. Amos is looking at Blevins. Blevins is looking at Amos, but now they're going in. The chase is on.
It was Dane Gray for the Bear Pro team out of the saddle and attacking. He's got a 3-second advantage as he rolled through the finish line truss.
Dane ran a 150, and we were talking earlier, down to 14th place for the Bear Pro team was Robbie Day running a 149. So we talked earlier about if you did not have good position on lap 1, a lot of the riders run the exact same speeds, but if they're not in the right place early on in the race and burn that match on lap 1, they can go fast all day long, but unless they're 5, 6, 7 seconds faster, they cannot make up the difference with this level of talent on course.
Braden Johnson here for Allied Cycle Works out of Littleton, Colorado now finds the front. It has been a diverse race in terms of the people who have been represented on the front. In the elite women, Bailey Siopa led several laps and took time on the front. Then it was Sevilla Blanc with a lot of time on the front. We've had 5 or 6 different riders here in this men's elite race taking turns and riding on the front. Very diverse and riders very eager to get up there for their chance. We've seen several attacks by one of the Beard brothers on the front, trying their hands at breaking away. They had the biggest gap probably at that point, but then Christopher Blevins was able to bring it back in. But this time, Braden Johnson's going to keep the momentum going and see how far he can get.
He is going very hard. Like you said earlier, different riders taking one of the benefits of having not an enormous 50, 60, 70 person field is when they're 6 deep on each row. Even if you're third row back, you're not that far back. So even being super uber talented like most of these riders are, they still have a chance because they're not so far back. Where at the World Cup stage, they may be 100 riders back if they don't have the UCI points to bring them up there on the top row.
Braden Johnson setting very good tempo, being chased down by the collegiate champ Ivan Sippy with this time at Colorado Mesa, winning in short track and cross country and on a team relay. Sippy, no stranger to this position, so close near the front of the race. A victory may be in sight for Ivan Sippy, racing age of 23, so fresh out of the U23s and out of the collegiate scene. He's in a great position as they saw 7 laps to go.
7 laps to go for the leaders. We've seen multiple, I'm thinking 3 or 4 different leaders coming through, each of them making the turn towards the finish stretch. They're putting in a dig. They're seeing if there's a counter. And the Blevins, Amos, Bjorn Riley combo there is looking to each other to see who is going to put in the effort to attack each time. So far, somebody has done it, but right now they are hammered down, and that's the fastest I've seen one of the riders come through the concrete turn.
I had to brace myself on that turn watching him lean the bike. He railed the apex and then pushed it outside almost to the barricades. His tires had to hit the footing. Leaned over under the handlebars, but fully in control with the speed that he had. Flawless execution of that turn.
What a course it is. Oh, our sponsor, Corellia Clinic, making it possible for the best racing in the world tonight, Thursday, at downtown Roanoke. It is an 8-person single file lead group. The pace is ramping up. They are still well under 2 minutes. They're flirting around 150 for each rider in that 7-man lead group. But Braden Johnson still off the front right now. Chasers are locked and loaded on his wheel. They're not going to let him get too far away.
There you have the defending champ to the front in the neon over the humps before the rock garden. It was with 3 laps to go that we saw the defending champ take the reins of the women's elite race. We've got 6 laps now, and Bjorn Riley has made his way to the front.
I could hear the fans up on the field start yelling. I knew there was some action. We look at the TV, and what happens? It's Bjorn Riley, last year's national champion. He's surfing through the grass, going down the hill. He's all in right now, Hoop. He's going fast. He always puts that dropper seat post. Last year I was watching him sit down with the dropper, get his center of gravity lower, and he's railing the turn using every single inch as he's working his way towards the finish line.
Quick look behind to see he's got 3 riders within contention of this group. So a group of 4 forming. There are others behind just dangling off of the pace. Bjorn Riley about to hit the bricks here to make the right turn and see 5 laps on the counter.
All right, that's a little stretch of the muscles, Hoop. They're looking around. They dispatched some riders there. Everybody's in panic mode. They're all in now. It's now or never as I see Carson Beckett from Dirt Camp Racing hammered down hard. He's at the tail end of that string. But last year's national champion put a little dip in there to see who could stay with him, and he's definitely made the select group get a little bit more select.
Looks like he's been brought back into the fold here. Doesn't get too far. Perhaps just a couple of laps early for Bjorn Riley to clear and flee the coop. He's sitting now into second position. Chris Blevins and one of the Beards right there with Riley now at the front of the race.
They let off the pace just a little bit, and good news for Carson Beckett. He was able to catch back on. I can see him coming around right there. So when there was a little bit of a gap there with 5 riders off the front, they relented the pace just slightly, and now it's a group of about 11 as Blevins, the former world champion, is coming through out of the Rock Garden in the lead. The national champion from last year, Bjorn Riley, right on his tail.
Bjorn Riley on the front, and Chris Blevins means Riley-Amos rises up from a few riders back. He's sitting in the 3rd position here, just behind Bjorn Riley. Riley-Amos now moving his way up. He's a former world champion, an Olympian, and a national champion, so he has plenty of experience to get it done.
Plenty is an understatement, Hoop. Last year's cross-country champion, racing Bjorn Riley. Blevins wasn't here. We were sad to see that, but glad to see him here now. And action is hot right here as they're going into the man-made wooden berm. Blevins on the attack outside of the turn. Let's see if they put a dig in here. But when they come through, Hoop, they're going to have 4 laps to go. Elmwood Park, 4 laps to go.
Laps have been fast, just getting off of a 1 minute and 48-second lap when Bjorn Riley was on the move. This time, Chris Blevins is setting tempo. It's still going to be a quick one. 158. The crazy thing is that they've got plenty more in the legs.
158. We're going to call that like 2/3 throttle. I'm expecting the attack lap to be sub 140. I'll be shocked if it's not, to be totally honest with you. So 158, we'll call that tempo speed for these riders, and their tempo is my zone 22. So it's some high stakes on the line right now.
That slower tempo does allow the rest of the field to get back into the bunch near the front. We saw plenty of shakeups throughout the course of yesterday and today. Riders that were 7th, 8th, and 9th thought they might have been out of the thing were able to get back into the fold, and especially in the 15, 16, and 17, 18 races, when they've come back together like this, those riders fighting for 10th, all of a sudden we're fighting for 3rd, fighting for 4th. A totally different dynamic when you allow that field to come together.
We talked all day long about the left line on the Rock Garden. Yet again, from the Bear Pro team out of California, Dane Gray made a pass. I believe he made 2 spaces using the left line on the Rock Garden. So having that alternate line at the right time can really help keep you in contention with the lead group.
Blevins leading the turn now. You can see him leaning over. And although they're seated, you know the power being put into the pedals is quite high out of that turn. It's positioning here through to this right bend up to the road. It's all about positioning. You can kind of not soft pedal, but back off the pedals a little bit. It's okay to reshuffle. But this time, though, it's the complete opposite. No backing off the pedals on this climb. Chris Blevins lighting it up and out of the saddle. You can see the splits happening about 6th, 7th, and 8th back.
That was an absolute attack from Blevins. I have seen Bjorn Riley a few times actually have the free wheel going through here at the start-finish line because there was a ability to let off the pedals and coast a little bit. With Blevins making that attack, there was absolutely no time to do that. Three laps, they just coming through. All riders, 3 laps coming through. When the leaders come back around, oh, it's going to be getting close to the end. But riders right now coming through at 3 laps. Who will we got happening here?
We've got another move from Bjorn Riley. This is reminiscent of when we saw 6 laps to go on the counter. He's off the front. He's first time through the rock garden. He lasted about 2.5 laps until he was back into the field. 3 laps on the lap counter. He's got about 2.5 laps now until the finish. Is this the move that Bjorn Riley wanted? Is this the time for him to go and win another national championship to make it 6 under his belt?
He looked, as soon as he made the attack, he made it through the rock garden. He took to the left, made sure he was gone, and now he is not looking back. He is all cards on the deck right now. Bjorn Riley, last year's national champion, it says now or never. I'm taking my chances, and look at him go. He's putting the power out wherever he can.
You can see how he is on the bicycle out of the turn. It's not that he's all over, but as he pedals the bike, his body leaning side to side, stomping everything he's got into those pedals. This final turn, let's make some noise for your national champ defending his title. He's on the move here.
He is digging deep. He is putting it down. Riley Amos looking at Blevins. Blevins looking at Amos. They're saying, who's going to work? Blevins says, oh, I will. I'm a world champion. I'm going for him. I'm not letting him get away. 2 laps to go, Roanoke.
Bjorn Riley laying it all out there. Chris Blevins matching that intensity. He's got a little bit of a gap to shut it down, but like you said, the world champion, the former world champion of Chris Blevins, when he decides to go, he goes.
I would hate to know what he said to Riley Amos, but I can tell you right now, he was not happy. He's like, look, we got to go. He made a comment. I couldn't tell what it was, but as soon as he did, his watts went up 1,000 guaranteed.
The gap has come down for Bjorn Riley, although it is still there. Chris Blevins, he's spinning out the rear wheel around that dusty turn there before the humps. He means it. Blevins riding a little angry right now. He doesn't want Riley to be off the front here. Bjorn is getting away with a little too much, perhaps, is what Blevins is thinking.
All the fans are going to start running off the bank here in a second. I'm seeing them coming down through the weeds. They know it's time. They know it's live. It's action-packed here at Elmwood Park, brought by Carilion Clinic. USA Cycling National Championship on the lines. Blevins is chasing Riley. Can he stay away?
Come on now, Roanoke. We're flipping the lap counter over. When they hit the bricks, this will be 1 lap to go in the race. We should make plenty of noise for our riders in our men's elite field. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Let's make some noise. Bjorn Riley on the move. Chris Blevins with the catch. It's going to be 2 rounders into the final lap. Ivan Sippy is sitting in 3rd here, chasing down 1st and 2nd.
Oh, man, Blevins is locked and loaded. He says, no, you're not getting away. It's like trying to catch a shark at the beach. He's trying to chase Bjorn Riley, but it is so hard. Bjorn is all in. Blevins is chasing with everything he's got, but the former world champion knows how to measure his effort. He's got plenty of time. They're locked and loaded, and Blevins is now taking the lead. Bjorn Riley, last year's champion, locked on to Blevins. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to come to a sprint finish. You better get ready.
Now, Chris Blevins hasn't necessarily gone on the attack so much. Bjorn Riley has 2 big attacks in this race. Blevins, this is the one for him, chasing down the move. He's trying to find a gap over Bjorn Riley. Look at him through the rock garden.
They are about to go through the area where it's all downhill to the finish line. I can assure you, you will never see riders go as fast as they will in this concrete turn. Roanoke, Virginia, get ready. The former world champion is off the front. Last year's national champion is locked and loaded. Where can he make the pass? Can he make the pass? I think it's coming down to a sprint finish here on the brick cobbles.
There's not a lot of room between here and the finish. You've got Chris Blevins on the front, Bjorn Riley sitting 2nd position. Oh, Riley takes the inside of the turn, but Blevins is going to try to shut it down. Blevins on the right. They are shoulder to shoulder going into the rail wall.
Oh my goodness, Riley made a pass on the outside. He's all in. They are sprinting all the way. This is a 10th of a mile sprint. They're about to come in a straight stretch. Riley in the front, Blevins in the back. Riley's going as fast as they can. The national champion defended Brandon. It is Scott Schramm. Bjorn Riley holding off the former world champion. That was the pass. That might have did it right there. And they're fighting all the way to the end. Go ahead, Hoop. Who we got?
Ivan Sippy finds the podium, takes the bronze here. Your final step in your men's elite short track race.
Oh my, I told you yesterday morning you could not miss the show here. Bjorn Riley put it all on the line with a surprise pass where we have not seen it all week long. He put the world champion in the hurt locker, but he had enough left in the tank to sprint to the line. Congratulations to Bjorn Riley from Boulder, Colorado. Scott Schramm, MTB Racing Team. He is the reigning, defending, repeat national champion. Can he do it 3 years in a row? We'll find out. 2027, we're back.
So if we're still live at home on the YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Everybody else here in Roanoke, we're going down to the podium. Make your way to the stage there in Elmwood Park, where we will crown our national champions from the elite women's race and the elite men that are just finishing up.
What a race. Congratulations to the silver medalist, Christopher Blevins, Team Specialized. Oh, man, from Durango, Colorado. All these Colorado boys, man, they're so fast. And then in third place, Ivan Sippy taking the bronze medal. Congratulations, Ivan Sippy. Team Segment 28, presented by Baird. Also from Durango, Colorado. You want to ride bikes fast? Oh, step one, you probably need to come from Colorado.
What a show. We are settling in here to the podium ceremony, so a call for our athletes in the elite women and elite men's fields to please report to the stage. We'll greet you out back, check you in, and begin the podium ceremony as soon as our athletes do arrive. For everybody else, please enjoy the evening. Get a beer, sip on a beverage, relax. They're in the stands. Thanks for hanging out here on a beautiful day of racing. And thanks for hosting us, Roanoke. We cannot thank you enough for letting us play bikes here downtown Roanoke. Such a beautiful setting with the dirt, the off-road, the nature of mountain bike here amongst the city. A fantastic venue that people loved last year. They loved it this year. They're going to love it next year. So we are very excited to be partnered here with Roanoke, Virginia, to have our mountain bike national championships. So again, the call to the women and men from our elite fields to the stage for your podium ceremonies.
Roanoke, Virginia. That was a magic show. Goodness gracious, what an honor to be the announcer for the race. Born and raised here in Roanoke, Virginia, and I tell you, it could not have been more exciting to call those two races right there. So thank you, Carillion Clinic, the title sponsor for today, for making the best race in the entire world on Thursday night here in Roanoke, Virginia. What a show that was. We're about to do an exciting podium, and man, I cannot wait. Racing continues the rest of the weekend, but we move from Elmwood Park down to Explore Park, which just is a few miles out that way, and it's some super technical, tough trails at Explore Park that have been contrived for the national championship race. And this action is going to head there, where the discipline is a lot more about endurance and speed and tactics, but a lot of the same players will be on course, but we'll have a whole lot more out there with us. But what an exciting show it has been so far. Please stick around, because rarely do you get to see the famous riders like this right now that we see on TV every couple weeks at the World Cup. They're here. They're now in Elmwood Park in Roanoke, Virginia.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, no, I wasn't very much in the bad, but I'm
No, we're honored to have you.
all my friends are here. I was like,
Oh, yeah, it's been a great turnout. We had a huge number of people.
I was at the I wanted to get here.
Well, there's a lot of non-voters here, unfortunately.
It's okay.
They're like Roanoke,
I know.
But I did have one of my California friends, people that I was telling her, she goes, you better do it, you too. And I was like, yeah.
All right, so I went up to Bjorn Riley, the winner, the national champion, and I asked him if he was telling me the story, what happened, and I said, Bjorn, this is such a good story. We got to do an interview. And I said, would you mind doing an interview? He said, absolutely, I'd love to. But right now he's working his way. Priorities come first, and that's taking care of the young kids right now. First and foremost, Bjorn, it's awesome to have you here in Roanoke, and I know all the fans here, thousands of them lined along the course. Man, when you made the first pass, I could hear them up on the hill yelling for you, but you were telling me the story of what happened, and let's go down here to when you made the pass on the outside. Tell the fans what was going through your mind, talk about the tire choices, the various things, because you knew who you were up against.
I don't know how much I can actually tell about the tire choice. You know, you got to keep something a secret. I was running Maxes, and they were grippy. But, yeah, the kind of final turn, or I guess last lap going to start-finish straight, I saw the menacing shadow of Chris right behind me. And I was like, well, there goes my natty champs. But I thought the best thing to do was let him pass and kind of try to recover and just hope that a small opening appears and I can just go for that. Because I felt no one's going to really expect to pass on the last lap in the super sketchy parts. And I'd really have to, like, gamble with that. But I just followed him, and I could tell I was still able to keep with him. He's a crazy, snappy rider, the best in the world, I'd say, for that. So when I could tell I could hang with him, I thought maybe I have a chance. And going into this, like, really sketchy asphalt corner, I just let off I braked a little earlier so I could then cut a little tighter and hope that I could just get like 1 or 2 more pedal strokes in before he did. And yeah, it was perfect and it worked. And then I could tell I was just a little in front of him, so I knew I kind of had the main line. And then I just put my head down and sprinted. And I was pretty surprised when I came across the line first because, yeah, I've always looked up to Chris, and to be able to be in front of him today is really special for me. And thanks to all the crowd and everything. You guys were so loud, so supportive. Thank you guys so much, Roanoke.
So, Bjorn, you ride all over the world, okay? You just won in Andorra, the World Cup short track champion right here in Roanoke. What an amazing, and that's against the best riders in the world, which Chris Blevins and Riley both are. You know that as well. But I just want to know, man, this has got to be one of the best short track venues that you have ever been to. Am I just saying that, or is that the way it really is?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the venues are pretty crazy. I will say for, like, nationals, I mean, this crowd is massive. It's super sick. And I'd say this course is really fun. When I went on course preview, I usually do 2 to 3 laps. And I think I did like 15 yesterday. So I think that says something. It's like super flowy. Say for racing, it's fun, but also sketchy because every single corner is super loose. So you really have to be on your game. But maybe that's what makes it fun is you really have to be fully locked in. There's no time where you can zone out.
So Roanoke, last year in 25, he was national champion. This year in 26 is national champion. We got a lot of hockey fans, and they call it a hat trick. Oh, can we see it in the cards in 27? Roanoke, Virginia, put your hands together one more time for the national champion from Scott Schramm. This is Bjorn Riley. Yes, sir. All right, it is time. It is time for the podiums. Now look here, Roanoke. We got one more coming through the back. We cannot forget. Let's get out of the sign, Sevilla. So last year you come to Roanoke, Virginia. You've been all over the world, just like Bjorn. Oh, you had your moments here just recently at the World Cup level as well. You dialed this course in last year, an experience we've seen all week long, how it pays dividends. You come here to Roanoke, Virginia, and it seemed like you laid back strategically for a few laps. But when you said go, I swear the officials had to check your bike because I think you had some nitrous in it. When you went, I have not seen any attack like that. Tell the fans here at Elmwood Park what it was like, what was going through your mind, and what made you say, this is the time I need to go.
Yeah, it was really cool. Bailey was really committing from the start, and it was really cool to see her out there. For me, like, every race is an opportunity to push myself and to grow a bit. And yeah, halfway through the race, I was kind of not happy about my position in the bunch and wanted to kind of get some space. So I attacked a bit over the rock garden, and then so I had a gap, and it was pretty cool. My fiance was out here and telling me to just commit to it, and we were still four laps out, so had a bit of racing, but I just committed. And that's just one thing, like, it's hard to do in a race, just to believe and just go all in like that. But that was definitely like a growth today for me. So I think, yeah, for all the racers out there, like, just searching for that growth every race, it's an opportunity for that. So if you finish a race and you feel like you've grown a little bit, then it's a success.
It's hard to imagine somebody at your life. Test. Oh, there we go. Had a little bit of a mic issue there. The growth is still there. It's so hard to see that. You're so fast. When you hit the nitrous, you are sub 2-minute lap times. I mean, you are faster than most all the men riders that we've seen come through here. When you said go, it was go time. So knowing that there's more to learn at your skill level, at the talent level that you're at, is actually scary. And this is right here is being broadcasted all over the world. I can only imagine the competitors are fearful. Now, last year, just like with Bjorn, 25 national champion, 26 repeating national champion. Oh, would it be awesome to see the hat trick 3 times in a row? And here in Roanoke, you seem to love the course. We're excited to see you come back. What's next for you on the schedule?
Some time at home. I've been in Europe for the last 2 months, so I'm gonna go do a little altitude block and train a bit. We've been racing a ton, so I'm looking forward to training and just focusing on the next goals, Worlds, and the next World Cup in Leger in August. So that's the next block, but we have about 4 weeks at home, and I'm gonna really soak that up.
Well, I can imagine you and your fiance are having a great time. He's one of my favorite riders in the country. I absolutely love him. Congratulations. You are making America proud at the national level, but most certainly at the World Cup level. Congratulations, Roanoke, Virginia. This is Sevilla Blanc, your national champion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time to celebrate our top 3 from your elite women and elite men's race, capping it off with the Rafa Stars and Stripes and the gold medal for our national champions. We'll begin with our elite women. We'll welcome up our bronze medal. She races for Flow Formulas Kenda, the Black Bibs. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming 3rd place to the stage, Crystal Anthony. The silver medal belonging to the rider from Trek Unbroken. Please make some noise as we welcome Gwendolyn Gibson. And now it is my pleasure to bring to you the 2026 Short Track National Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, racing for Decathlon Ford, this is Sevilla Blanc. Let's hear it one more time for Crystal Anthony, your bronze medal, Gwendolyn Gibson, the silver, and the national champion there with the gold, Sevilla Blanc. What a fantastic race with an amazing finish. Your three elite women there on the steps. Congratulations to Crystal Anthony, Gwendolyn Gibson, and Sevilla Blanc. Now on for our elite men's field. What a show that was put on by the elite men. We'll start with our bronze medal to the stage racing for team segment 28 presented by Baird. This is Ivan Sippy. The silver medal this year belonging to the rider out of Specialized Racing, the former world champion in short track. Let's make some noise and welcome up Christopher Blevins. And now, please join me in making some noise and giving him a very big Roanoke welcome. This is his 6th national championship. He goes back-to-back in short track here for Scott SRAM Mountain Bike Racing, Bjorn Riley. The Rafa Stars and Stripes, presented by Brendan Quirk, the gold medal, presented by Mayor Joe. It's quite the combo, and it belongs to Bjorn Riley here as your 2026 national champion. One more time, let's let him hear it. Ivan Sippy, the bronze medal, Christopher Blevins, your silver, and Bjorn Riley, your national champion. That will conclude our podium ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hosting us here for Short Track in downtown Roanoke. Thank you for all of our partners and sponsors that have made this racing possible. It has been a fantastic second year, and we look forward to more. So on behalf of USA Cycling and all of our partners, on behalf of the City of Roanoke and their partners, we thank you so much. Continue, please, to have a fantastic night here. And we'll catch you later on in the week with cross country.